Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 11. That episode is titled Worst Dinner Party Ever.
And it was.
If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and let's get into this recap review. Do it.
Let's do this thing.
All right, so let's start with Noy and Steve.
Let's do it.
Because they were.
I didn't write it. First off, hold on. I didn't write a lot about no one in this whole episode.
I know why.
Yeah.
Because we watched this together, which one doesn't happen.
Right.
2, late at night in the bed.
Yeah.
And 3, Lily was between us just going back and forth. So
no, I just for me, I just felt like it wasn't a lot of
notable things.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that too. But when you couple that with that situation, it was like we're writing less because I know I wrote less because I was sleepy.
Yeah.
All right. So Noy and
Steve. All right.
Ooh. So start off with Steve playing basketball with his friends. His friend's been married for like, I think he said 10 years.
That was his brother, by the way. His brother? Yeah.
I don't know why I said friend. Whatever. He said he had been married for like 10 years. And so he came to him looking for some marital advice. And basically he said, y'all need to take baby steps at fixing the issues of your relationship. As I thought about that, I was like, biggest issue right now is Steve don't want to talk about money.
He also was saying that he was telling his brother about him being domesticated. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you're doing this because you want to.
I don't even think that it's I want to. I think it's I am here. These things need to be done.
It's I want
to.
I'm
going to do them.
Because it's like, it's a I want to because he chose to get married. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to do something.
That's just something.
You know, and that's why I say he chose to be domesticated because he's choosing not to work.
But I don't think this is anything different than what he be doing by himself. So.
Okay.
Would he not clean? He would clean up his own house.
No, he would clean. He would
cook his own meals.
And you're right. He would do all those things. But the expectation for him, like what he said last time, was for her to work. And for him, his expectation for him is to make sure that things are clean, things are cooked.
And then he said after that, he worries about what he needs to do to make money. I was like, that's low on the totem pole.
Yeah. Like it's for me, it's been hard to like wrap my head around that.
You don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine.
Right, exactly. That is so true.
Noy met up with her friend.
You was ready to get rid of them.
I was. Done. Noy met up with her friend and she told her friend that the relationship was 80% good.
Yeah.
That made me think about one of them Tyler Perry movies.
I don't know.
It was like the 80-20 rule. Don't leave your 80% relationship looking for the 20% somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you get that 20%, you're going to realize you really wanted that 80%. Mm-hmm. Not saying that that's what's going to happen here. It just made me think about it. Noy's really like, I need your plan, but
is she, let me ask you this, man, because better conversation. Is she overreacting about this?
I don't know. Like, okay, so for me, they are 4 weeks in, right?
Yeah.
From what we have seen of Noy and Steve discuss finances or what his plan is, there hasn't been enough of it. And I know that we only see so much on camera. So from going by what we see, it can't irritate you that badly if you haven't pushed this conversation at any other moment.
Let me ask you this. Does that work for you?
Does what work for me?
What Steve has shown, like if I came to you with Steve, what we see from Steve, and I came to you with Steve's attitude about things, does that work for you?
No, but I would ask him differently than Noi.
So
I think that's the thing, is that Noi presses the issue with us and with others, but not with Steve. I wouldn't be telling my friend, hey, my husband needs a job. I would be telling my husband, hey, you need to come up with something. But again, we don't know the full story of how they're interacting about this.
For me, I don't care about the full story. I just see whatever I see on TV. That's what I'm going by.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Based on the amount of times it's been brought up to Steve, which at this point has been once.
No, she brings it up all the time.
Not what is your plan?
She didn't ask him like 2 or 3 times about the plan. We've seen that. She asked him on this episode. I was finna say today, but on this episode, she asked him like, "I need you to come up with a plan." Well, she didn't ask about your plan. She mentioned you need a plan, which that's true,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, the conversation needs to dive deeper into the plan, because like, the thing with Steve is we're dealing with a whole bunch of what ifs, right? And Dr. Viviana, one of her what ifs for them was, what if Steve has enough money saved? And Noi was like, I don't care. He still needs a job.
And that's an issue with Noi.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Noi's not looking at the providership part. She's just looking at you have to have a job, because if you don't have a job, we don't eat. Or
and that's not necessarily
somebody
true.
Goes without. And the thing that bothers me about Steve, and I don't get it, because it's like, well, I kind of get it. If he is sitting on this gold mine of money, he don't want to really like.
I'm not telling somebody I just met 4 weeks ago,
right,
how much money I
have. Because that's a risk for him. But in the same regard, he signed up for this risk.
But he didn't sign up where he had to be like, hey, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah. But then also you think about it too, in the sense of, from a man's standpoint, you're not divulging enough information to make sure that you're okay. You know what I'm saying? Like what do you say? I freelance and stuff like that. Like most entrepreneurs would be like, nah, I have a XYZ business. This is what I do. I work for myself or something like that.
But the things that he freelances for, at least from what he has said to us, are not one-offs. Like, it's not like I'm Ubering today. Yeah. And if I make $300, that's it. Yeah. He's like, I build apps. That's at minimum a 5-figure turnaround. Photography, depending on how great he is, like, that could be very lucrative. It's just like, we don't know. And that's the hard part for me, is that it's so unknown with Steve.
And it's not funny, but it's like, it's okay for us not to know, but for her to still harbor on the fact that he's not working. Like, say something to assure her.
It might just be she don't like to answer.
But
because it's kind of like Sushi. He was like, can Sushi sleep in the bed over there? And she was like, no. Sushi can. She just didn't like his answer or his question. I
don't know, man. I just feel like, more information needs to be given to her. I feel like whatever it is that he's saying outside of, and we know Noi is kind of like a it's my way or no way type of deal. But I just feel like, I don't know.
She's very rigid.
Yeah.
And because she's very rigid, it makes it a little bit more difficult to say, oh, there truly is a problem.
Yeah. But I think it is a problem. Like for me, it bothers me that this man is like, not that he doesn't want to work, right? Mm-hmm. But he's like not concerned about working.
That's the thing. It's not that he doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to work a traditional job.
Well, okay, let me rephrase it so it makes sense to you. It bothers me that he wants his wife to be the breadwinner.
Did he say that specifically?
Like he like if she stopped working,
I don't think he ever. They entertained that idea because of Noi.
Well, I'm just using clues and context of what I've seen.
We're reading a lot into it, and we don't really know.
That's all I got.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard because we're doing a lot of reading in between stuff that's like not necessarily there. I'm
all for, people deciding to stay home. And, they making the best out of the situation for them and themselves. Mm-hmm. What I'm not for is you got to trust me on this one, Like, no, like I don't. Like in that situation, you have to give more of a assurance than anything. And regardless of how rigid Noi is on like how a person needs to clock in, a person needs to clock in and clock out. Mm-hmm. You have to give some type of assurance to this lady that, hey, in times of need, I can provide. You know what I'm saying? Because the same goes for her. If she was like, if the roles were flipped, I would feel the same way, but our conversations wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying to you. It's like,
have you?
The issue is the conversation. Like, we missing something.
No, I'm saying like if she wasn't working and was like just I'll stay at home, clean the house, and like his moves, we wouldn't be harboring on the fact that she doesn't have a job.
Maybe we would. Maybe we would.
We wouldn't. Okay. We were like, that's what she chooses to do. He can. What'll be said would be he can handle it. You know what I'm saying? That's what will be said.
That's what I'm still saying.
What?
He can handle it.
Who?
He got it figured out. He got something figured out over there.
I mean, like, yeah, he got it.
He got something figured out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't agree with it.
Artieka does not know what he has figured out, but in Steve's mind, he's formulated some type of plan. So I would be saying the same thing.
Yeah, I would feel the same way. Like, I would be like, no one needs a job, but like how I'm saying Steve just needs to.
I think that when you just say Steve needs a job, that turns into how Noi says Steve needs a job. And I'm like, 1099 still get you paid.
No, I'm not saying that he needs to clock in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like if he works for himself, take ownership of that.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just be like, I do this,
and that's
I do
why
that.
I think that what you're saying versus what Noi is saying is two different things.
Yeah, probably.
Because I think that Noi is saying you need to go punch a clock.
Yeah.
And you're saying you need to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Like, those are two different things.
I don't care how you make them meet.
But you see what I mean? Those are two different things.
And it's not even that you need to make ends meet, but you need to assure her that you're making ends meet. Because the thing is, it's like, I feel like we live in a society now where 2 incomes helps. Mm-hmm.
7 is better.
Yeah. But it's like if you can actually, make a certain type of income because you have the opportunity to go do whatever it is you want to do as far as a living. Mm-hmm. He's in a position where a lot of men aren't in. Mm-hmm. Let me take it. Like, what man do you know can take off and don't do any type of activity that brings in any type of funds, but spends to go 4 months up and down the East Coast?
I don't know anyone.
Yeah, me neither.
Let me not say I don't know anyone. I know people, but they also probably wouldn't do that. But that's just them as a person.
Right. If I had the means to do that, I would do it. But
that's a conversation that my mom and I had about this. We were talking about like Steve and going to see his friends. And I was like, well, Steve is maintaining an apartment, but I think that people that I know would be able to do that if they weren't maintaining a home or an apartment. It would be something that they could actually go out and do. So
we know because Steve isn't, and I'm gonna let this go in a second. I got caught up on this tangent.
Playing that violin,
man. But with Steve, man, it's just we know that money is not the issue because of his actions. But the only thing that I'm saying throughout this whole thing is tell her something. Like, let her know something. Because that's going to be the downfall of your marriage. If one person feels like that they're doing majority of the work and it's not equally yoked in a position, you have a person that's envious of the other person that's doomed to fail. Especially if your communication is not great and you can't say, hey, I don't like what's going on here. We need to fix it. And the other person don't catches it.
It just has to be more than I don't like that you don't go clock in.
Oh, definitely.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
That's,
and that's what I feel like what she's saying.
I feel the same way because Noah's communication is terrible. Like, obviously, we know that from when she just got mad over noodles, but then couldn't tell him that, and just packed up and left.
Took her dog
and packed up and left. And he's like, well, what did I do? Anyway, Noah and Steve went on a on a cruise.
Oh, no, before that.
We went off all on this little tangent.
Steve got Noi and Sushi matching leopard print outfits.
Yeah.
And then he said he had a shirt.
He ordered one.
So that they could take a family photo. Yeah. And she got him a Polaroid camera that he had been looking at. Because he had one and he wanted the square one. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just how it prints out.
Anyway. I had one of the old school Polaroids, like the first ones
my
that
sister
came
did.
out. And
you try not to touch the film.
And then you get a picture back and it's like a big thumbprint.
Right. That's funny.
Then they went on the dinner cruise and had sushi, and he gave her a history lesson of the Boston Harbor.
Yeah, I thought that's
something I would like to do.
Because we found out that Noah has only been there for like
a year and a half.
A year or so. And they talked about him not having a plan. That was one of the things. This is the month anniversary episode. I don't know if we said that or not, but that's all I got for them, man.
Okay, so
I didn't even know we was gonna talk that much.
I didn't know you were gonna talk that much.
Like that really bothers me, man. That really bothers me. But go ahead.
All right, Lindsay and Mark. So we open up with Mark saying his job told him not to come back until filming is done. I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
And so now he's looking for a job. And I'm like, okay. 4 weeks left.
Mark is just really going through it.
Yeah, 4 weeks left of filming, right?
Yeah.
So we got 8 weeks total and we're at the 4-week mark. And I'm like, are you going to find a decent job that you want to do in 4 weeks? And are you going to let that job go in 4 weeks, or are you planning on changing positions because your job is letting you go for a short amount of time? Like, it was a lot of conversation around that I was like,
Man, my question is, what was Mark doing?
They say that they film really long hours. So I'm wondering if it was just affecting his work performance. And I've had a boss in the past who would just be like, hey, I'm going to take you off the schedule. I'm not going to fire you. You can come back.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take you off the schedule. So maybe he just has one of those managers just because he works in
Sales.
In sales, fitness sales. So it's not like he has a base pay. I don't think. I don't know. But just take out the schedules. You got some stuff going on at home. Go fix it and come back when you're ready.
Lindsay said the silliest thing, I think, when he was like, man, I got to go find a new job. Boom, boom, boom. She was like, I don't think you need a new job. I think you need to sit down, focus on you, me. And I think she said something about kids. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, Lindsay also just clowned him about making $60,000. And I mean, how much money do you make?
She's just looking for a reason to talk about him because I bet if they get into it again, she gonna bring up the fact that he does not have a job.
Oh, I'm without a doubt sure of it. But I'm just saying, like, if we were gonna play this scenario out, okay, Mark doesn't have a job. I want Mark to stay home with me and do blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I can take care of everything. Can you actually take care of everything, or can you take care of everything because Married at First Sight is given a per diem?
Yeah, that's what it is. See, Lindsay needed to be matched up with Steve because it would work perfectly. And Noah should have been matched up with Mark because Mark will go out and get a job. There it is. Fixed Married at First Sight.
Okay. So Mark goes shopping for a gift for Lindsay for their 1 month anniversary. I have a hard time calling it an anniversary because it's not.
Just call it a month anniversary.
Still not.
That's still a year. The versary.
Versary.
Oh. Just call it 1 month.
Annie makes it
yearly.
Annual. So month anniversary can make it monthly. I'll give you that.
Okay, cool. Thank
you. Chris came out and went shopping. I know Alyssa's not watching these, but I know she's somewhere like sucking her teeth, mad at the TV because he's still filming.
She's probably not even, I wouldn't even invite her to come back.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
she would only be invited to come back to the reunion. I would not have her on the show.
They could do it Where Are They Now special with her.
What if she get a spinoff?
Nobody wants to see that.
I will watch it.
I wouldn't. So they go to some, I don't want to call it a nursery, but
it was like a flower shop.
Yeah, type. It was like an indoor nursery situation. Yeah. And he picked out a terrarium.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Correct word. Yeah.
And they got some crystals to go in it. And he was like, this is right up Lindsay's alley. She likes her plant. She likes her crystal. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So for their 1 month anniversary or 1 month anniversary, they went camping, which Mark had never done before. I was like, Mark is experiencing so many firsts.
Right.
On this. I think the last person that had this many firsts on the season or on their season was like Rachel, when she learned how to ride a bike and all this stuff with Jose. Because Mark is like never had tacos, never had sushi, never went camping.
The fact that Mark is 38 and never had a taco is like a sad and amazing all at the same time.
Yes, tacos have gotten us through.
Yeah.
I like Taco Tuesday. So they go camping. At the campsite, they do s'mores and do a terrible job at making a pizza.
Yeah, I was like, man, I don't know what you need to do, but you didn't do it.
I was like, it's not enough flour on the bottom. It's sticking.
Flour keeps it from sticking. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
So they make the pizza. He gave her the terrarium and the crystals as a gift. And then they go through their wedding box. And Mark has this like little breakdown moment talking about all of their fights and pretty much he don't want to fight no more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nobody wants y'all to fight. We all just want Lindsay to shut up sometimes. Yeah. And it's not to say that Lindsay's always wrong or Mark is always right or the inverse of that. Yeah. But it's just like we want Lindsay to listen.
Right. That's the biggest issue is that she doesn't listen to what he's saying. He's always having to like basically defend her to everybody else. And like every night it's a fight, you know, to just have peace. And nobody wants that in their home. Do you think Lindsay and Mark has strayed too far to actually have a quality relationship with each other?
I think Lindsay has gone too far, but I think just like Noy said about Steve, he's always the one that fixes it. Mark is always the one that fixes it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not the kind of fixer Olivia Pope was,
Mm.
but you need a fixer in your relationship.
Yeah.
It's helpful if both people are fixers,
Right.
but if Mark really wants to be married to Lindsay.
Do you think it's just I want to be married or I want to be married to Lindsay type deal?
I think he wants to be married because he's done this process twice.
This is section, yeah.
He wants to be married and, he's a people pleaser. So he's like, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have nothing else for them. Do you?
Yeah, that's it.
Great.
When you got to camping, I was like, yep, I'm done.
All right. So Jasmina and Michael. Michael has one of his friends come over and they talk about vulnerability, but the issue between him and Jasmina. And essentially he replayed the conversation or retold the conversation that Jasmina says she's not vulnerable with him because she doesn't feel like he's vulnerable with her. And he's like, you're not letting your guard down enough for me. And so basically nobody's doing anything. Yeah. We just beefing about
it's
who
like a
cut
tit
who
for
off.
tat thing.
Yeah, all we doing is beefing about who cut who off. Yeah. That's it. So he says that he aims to be very, very romantic at the month anniversary.
He also said that if she don't take to this, then I have nothing else. He was like, this is it. This is my grand gesture.
I cannot say that his grand gesture game was off because it was a great grand gesture.
He did his thing.
So they started out the day staged because as many times we've seen Jasmina wrap her hair, there is no way she was in that bed with her hair unwrapped.
I mean, it could have been a different night. Anyway, go ahead.
It wouldn't. And he came in, he got her up out of the bed and he had a breakfast spread on
I'm sorry. Let me interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead.
You have to realize they were mic'd up. So
I know.
So we know, like.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, we could have just been like her sitting in the bed reading or something, like, instead of her pretending to be asleep.
Right. Carry on.
That's the stage part.
All right.
So he has his big breakfast spread for her. Breakfast spread for her. Were there vows and stuff at the breakfast? I have to look back at my notes.
No, I think their stuff was it was because that's when they was like, we're gonna rewrite ours.
Oh yes. So they go through the basket that was left there with all the things from their wedding day. They look through their wedding photos and look at their vows. And Mike makes a suggestion that they should rewrite their vows. And so they did. And then he took her out for dinner where they got married, the venue that they got married at, which was, I thought, a really great. I would love to go have dinner where we got married at, but they probably be like $2,000.
Like, never mind.
I'll pass. The food was good, but it wasn't that good.
$2,000 worth good.
Nah, let's not even get into that.
Yeah.
But they sat down, they had dinner, and they got up and they recited their vows back to each other. They redid their first dance, and it was looking like they didn't hate each other.
Yeah.
I won't say they liked each other, but they didn't hate each other. They get back to their house and they have cake. That's pretty much all I had for them.
Yeah.
Cake was an exciting part of our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah. They decided to give the marriage 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the halfway mark. And the way I look at things is like 2 months together in a advanced part of a relationship where you're trying to tackle a lot of things at one time, not giving 100% from the start,
it's pointless.
Puts you at a loss through the process. Like the process is not allowing itself to work out, because like in a normal situation, when you get to know a person, by 2 months, I ain't gonna say everything about this person, but you spend a good deal with a person in 2 months, you know fairly a lot about a person. You know if you like this person genuinely. And
not just 2 months. We're on an accelerated 2 months because we're 2 months living together.
Right.
Pretty much doing everything together but working.
Right.
So
it's accelerated. So it's like not giving 100% in that situation only disproves the point of the experiment. Can this really work if you're like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But then, halfway through, you're like, okay, now I'm going to try. Like, that doesn't make sense.
I agree.
You need to just be all in. That's from the beginning, but be your true self.
I don't understand why you would go on a show like Married at First Sight and not give it 100%.
I don't know.
I just feel like anything else is a gross misuse of my time.
And yours.
But specifically mine.
Yeah, right. Nah, I get you on that. But
because if I'm doing this, then I had to want to get and be and stay married.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make TV for fun, especially because at 8 weeks nobody cares anymore.
Nope. But I'm glad to see them both like actually about to, I'm glad to see them get over some of the hurdles that they had because it was a sense of understanding how to communicate, which is a real problem. It's a real issue in marriage. And for them to tackle that part. Now, I'm not saying they have it all together, but what I am saying is that Michael's hand is not being hit anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact that he brought up the idea, let's rewrite our vows. That's a form of communication. Them able to laugh, like seeing them laugh together and joke with each other is a sigh of relief. And it's a sign of growth. Just because it's like, now you see how you guys were matched. You see like the differences and the similarities that you guys have. And you can joke about it. You can laugh about it. It's a form of your communication. Now grow with that, So you like to see that. You like to see these couples actually, grow into things. But it's like you have to start from the jump. Even if you don't like this person, if you don't think this person is attractive, you still have to try, because the thing about it is you may not be a 10, you might be a cool 7, but your attitude and your everything else is 15. You know what I'm saying? You can be the dopest person in the world, but you ain't the cutest person in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cute enough for both of us.
Okay.
But I'm just a super dope dude.
You're pretty swell.
Yeah.
You had to smile at
I did. That's all I have for them though, man.
All right, and on to the foolishness. Katina and Olajuwon. So Katina talks to her friend, and I don't really know what I wrote because it says SHA1E.
Yeah, you would sleep there.
So Katina talks to her friend, who tells her, I guess she needs to move with her heart, is what I was trying to say. Did he talk to anybody this episode?
I didn't write that he did.
He needs to talk to somebody. And it needs
he definitely does.
It needs to be a mental health professional.
No, who he needs to talk to is his sister-in-law.
Yes, because she is the only person that seems like she holds him to the fire about
She was
anything.
the only person that said, "Are you sure this is what you want?" Because you have a ideal that's not realistic when it comes to marriage.
That is true.
And
where is your sister-in-law?
Where is your sister-in-law? One thing that bothered me about this, because they went on a gondola ride, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody else, and it bothers me, because when it comes to anniversaries, the man is always looked upon to do it. In this situation, I've said before, Olajuwon does not do anything for her. Mm-mm.
Like he does things for the camera and for himself.
Right. And I'm like, she set up this date. She has set up every date that they've gone on outside of the honeymoon, because I'm assuming that he's
production.
Yeah, whatever they set up, but he didn't have a thing to do with it. But she set up the movie night at the house. She set up this gondola ride. It's like she's doing the most out of the marriage.
He wants to be courted.
Right. And I'm like, that's backwards. I mean, like, it works, but like most of the time we would have seen him do something as well, like the male do something as well. Mm-hmm. Because
like saying, I'm gonna let you have breakfast or lunch and I got our dinner.
Oh, but he did set up the dinner for them to cook, but that was for him.
That's
it was let me show you that I want to do this and I want you to do this for me.
No, that was Katina. Let me show you that someone cooks better than you and they can teach you how to do it better for me.
That stuff bothers me, man. Like that she allows this stuff to go on. So that's all I have for them because I don't even know what they was talking about on that boat ride.
I said they go home and he explains how Katina is making him better, and then they go to bed and she sleeps in his clothes. She was like, I don't have anything to sleep in. I'm like,
why don't you?
There's a washing machine, and I know that y'all have one because I watched Lindsay and Mark use the washing machine when they got back from Puerto Rico.
Right.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah. And if it wasn't, you still can go home and wash your clothes. Anyway, that's not what this is about. So I digress to that.
So after that, we get to them all going to this group dinner. So they take a Sprinter, and
which was new. This is a new thing because they usually like the anniversary thing
it's separate.
It's a separate thing.
So everyone's talking about their relationship ups and downs, and Olajuwon tries to drop a bomb at the table without dropping a bomb at the table, which is really annoying. Like, don't talk around. Don't talk. Number one, don't embarrass me.
Yeah.
That's number one. But number two, let's not bring things to the table that we're not willing to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, there was no reason that anyone at this table needed to have this, be in this conversation. Right. Period. Even though they didn't get any information. At this point, you just got people upset with you because they're like, either tell her or shut up.
Like the thing that me and you talked about, we talked about everything. We put everything on the table. Mm-hmm. Because the biggest thing for us was, I don't want any surprises.
Don't embarrass me.
In any conversation that comes up, nobody should be able to surprise one of us in conversation.
People have tried.
They have.
Like the girl that went to your bachelor party. Yeah. She tried.
I was so drunk.
You was just like, she knows that it was a girl there. And then your friend who she came with was like, yeah, she knows. Yeah,
I was like,
and I'm like, you're trying it with me.
I was like, that was you?
Because you literally walked in and introduced yourself to her like, I don't know who you are.
And she was like, I know you.
And you was like, you do?
Completely lost. But,
like, she tried it with me.
Yeah. But that was the thing. And so whatever bomb it was, because I don't even know what it was. Well,
like just that shit came to your bachelor party.
No, I'm talking about Elijah one. I'm off the bachelor
dating,
party. Yeah, it was a dating app
on her phone.
First off, first issue I have. Why was he in her phone?
He said he asked to use her phone for something while they were on the bus.
Okay, so why was he in her phone?
I don't know what you would be looking for.
Whatever it is.
Unless it's on her home screen.
Yeah.
There was no way that you just saw.
Like he had to be searching, because if I use your phone, I know exactly what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. You know, or I got to call somebody or, you know, something like that. But there's no reason for me to go through your phone.
And I'm laughing because I get lost every time I have to use your phone for anything. Like, where's this app?
Because I use folders.
Yes. I'm like, where's this app? I don't find it for me.
Anyway, so he gets upset and never says anything to her on the bus. Like, the easiest thing for him to do is pull her to the side and say, hey, you still got this date now? What's up with that? Let's talk about it later.
It wasn't even just that he didn't address it on the bus. Take you a step further. He laughed all through dinner, hugging, holding her hand, rubbing her arm.
He did.
All through dinner.
They wasn't saying anything to any of the questions, but him holding her hand.
Before the question started, it was still laughing.
He was still jovial.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden,
one of them college words right there.
Then we get to this conversation about marriage.
Yeah.
And you're like, boom, let's drop a bomb. But I'm not going to drop the whole bomb.
I'm going to just give you a teaser.
I'm going to say she's doing something that I don't like, and I feel like it's a spit in the face. And I was like, a spit in the... Once I found out what it was, I was like, that's a spit in the face? Because every single time we get new phones, except for this very last time we got new phones, me and you sit at the store and we transfer all our apps over from the last phone. If I didn't delete it from the last phone, it's stuff on here that I have not logged into in years.
My phone too.
But it's on my phone. And that's what I think of an app on your phone. It's like he could have challenged. I mean, she could have challenged it and been like, open up the app.
It's not even that. It's not the fact that she could have been like, open up the app or anything. When they the sad part was he didn't say anything. He dropped pieces of it at the dinner as to say, oh, me and her ain't vibing too well right now. And everybody else is looking at them like, what is wrong with you? And then on top of that, it's like, okay, when you get back to the I was going to say the hotel, but back home. To the apartment. Yeah, to the apartment. Here you are questioning her about an app that she is telling you that she doesn't use at all. She's not logged into it, but it's on her phone. And I thought about Brett and Ryan. I was like, what's the difference between her and Brett and Ryan situation between theirs? And I was like, the difference is Ryan was using the app. And Brett didn't find the app on his phone. Right. He matched with her friend. Right. Issue. So bold, glaring issue. So he's sitting up there like she's cheating on him. He's like, well, I deleted my app, boom, boom, boom. Like, it's just how you can, because you can approach this thing differently. You can feel a type of way because she still has the app on there. I can understand that part, but you approach it by asking, why do you have the app? I'd be like, is there something else that you need to tell me? If not, you leave it alone and keep pressing forward. I would be like, time to unlock your phone. You probably need to go ahead and delete that. Right. And that'd be the end of the conversation. And that's it. But him going so hard on her for having that app, and then her, oh, y'all finna get the real Katina, or you can get the real. I was like, she was finna cuss him out. That was the real Katina. I was like, man, shut up. She was gonna cuss him out. That's what causes you to like come out, he should have been cussed out. He should have been cussed out a very long time ago. Been put in this place a long periodical time. But I was just I was really saddened by how Olajuwon handled that. And then also it's not a conversation. It's more so of a dictatorship the way he's handling their relationship. And I'm like, I can't, you're destined to fail if this is how you want to handle
Dr.
situations.
Viviana told him, you're not going to be married to anybody for very long.
Nope. I believe, but my issue is I believe she's going to say yes on decision day.
She's definitely going to say yes. And I told you why I think she's going to say yes.
And that's my problem.
And I'll tell y'all too. The reason I say that she's going to say yes on decision day is because if you guys watched the after party, she was beaming over this Pandora bracelet that he bought her. If they had not said yes on decision day, this Pandora bracelet would not have come up in conversation, period.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on
with
that.
With the T.
I am with you. But that's all I got to say about them. Olajuwon really showed his butt this week.
Olajuwon is exhausting. And he's exhausting because nobody can be right with him. It's his rules, it's his way, and that's just not how life works.
Nope.
Just going back through the couples one more time, I am happy to see that Jasmina and Michael could have a conversation because Mike has been mostly mute.
Yeah.
If he not defending himself against being aggressive, he's been mostly mute. And I'm happy that they were able to have dialogues and, actually seem like they like each other as human beings. Not even like I'm in love with you or I want to be married to you, but just like you don't make my skin itch.
Yeah, yeah.
This was the quietest we've seen Lindsay.
Yeah.
Even though she wasn't quiet. This was just the quietest we've seen her. And then I want Steve to give us something to stop speculating.
Yeah.
Don't they have a finance episode coming up?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think
they usually do have a episode about finance.
I'm hoping that when we have the finances episode that everyone can be put at ease with Steve's finances.
Be like, I'm rolling in dough.
Like, I do what I can.
Be like, you know Big Bang Hank? Yeah, that's me.
No, you know how wealthy people are like, I do all right.
Yeah.
I just want him to be that person.
I can't wait till I get to that point.
I do all right.
I do all right.
Like, things are good for me. And, getting better every day.
Just be like, man, you good. Just chill, But
he has.
No, he hasn't.
That's pretty much what he said.
He hasn't said those words.
He was like, has my lack of job affected us in any way thus far? She's like, well, no.
What have they really...
But she didn't even ask that question. She was just like, no.
Man.
That's my Noi voice. Sounds very similar to Lily's voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's it.
That's it.
All right. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification video. Oh my God.
Goodness.
Get it out, Artieka. Turn on the notification bell. Like this video. And comment down below what you guys thought of the month-iversary. Specifically, how should, or if you were Katina, how would you have handled that Olajuwon blow up?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep, that's the question.
All right.
All right, bye y'all.
Peace.